Assalamu alaikum everyone. So the first question I want you to ask yourself is, what do you see for PEIPEI on the daily time frame, right? Today is Friday and we have 37 days to actually close the candles of PEIPEI. And in this 37 minutes, a lot is going to change. So back to the question that I asked you, what do you see, right? What do you see on the daily time frame with PEIPEI? Now there has been a pump and there has been a move up to 4822, but unfortunately when I see the PEIPEI closing, or at least how it's about to close in the next 37 minutes, it does not look like this coin has been successful to continue above this little bit of a trend line. Okay, so if you notice how the daily looks like, we had the first support touch here with one resistance here, with one resistance right there, and now we have another wick to the upside and another failure of a closing above that particular line. So this unfortunately is still going to be a problem. So resistance is not broken. Resistance here is not broken. And secondly, the candle that is about to close is almost like a hammer. Okay, so hammer, but in terms of a bearish one. So the bearish hammer, or you can actually see a hanging man in my opinion. So this looks more like a hanging man. So you have hanging man, you have resistance right here, and you're actually failing to cross above it. That's a big problem. That's going to be a big problem. Now let's say you do end up breaking above. You go up here, you break above, you retest, you might actually pump up to 9,282. Now unfortunately it does look like we have a problem. Okay, this is still a problem, and as long as you're not going to break above it, it is going to remain a problem. What about the smaller time frame? Let's check the smaller time frame in here, and you can see that if I show you the 1 hour time frame, of course the 1 hour time frame just had a small pump up when it came back for the retest. By the way, the retest did not hold. You came down, you were trying to hold the prices here, but you couldn't, and you're just moving below the trend line itself. So 1 hour time frame, failure to retest this trend line. What about the 4 hour time frame? Let's check the 4 hour time frame. And what about it, right? So if you check the 4 hour time frame as well, again, the candles are pretty clear that nothing was successful, unfortunately. Now the RSI is going to also come into play, and the RSI previously was already pretty high as well, but it just kept on pumping to the upside. And right now there is a bearish divergence. I do notice you have the prices going up and the prices coming down on the RSI. That's clearly bearish divergence. So we can actually expect a correction to the downside. Now, how far can you correct? If you do want to correct to the downside, the fib can actually help us a little bit. Now, number one is a move down to 0.6182799. Okay, so if you end up correcting to the downside, 2799 is going to be a technical target you can expect. And if you go really lower, if you really go like do a very big correction, then you could actually see this trend line coming into play. Now that's a very rare case scenario, but let's just label this one as the worst case scenario. So the worst case scenario is to move all the way down to that trend line, because this trend line got one touch, it had another touch, it had another one, and yes, it does make sense to come down and make that touch as well. But let's see, can you come down and hold that 0.618 as a correction? Because in here it's not a good idea to trade, especially when you are not breaking above a resistance. So we still need to see a break above resistance. I would actually even say that if you come up to 4921 and start to hold above 4921, I think that's going to be a clear statement that things may get bullish to continue even higher. And that's all for the video. I'm going to see you in the next one. Office.